James Dean remains one of Hollywood's most influential figures, a symbol of youthful rebellion and untamed charisma. Despite starring in only 3 major films, East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause and Giant, his impact on cinema and popular culture is immeasurable. Today, we're going to take a tour of the homes he lived in before he got his big break, from his childhood home to his New York City apartment. And then we'll look at the $4 million home where he worked as a handyman. It's in this home that he got his big break. But first, let's take a moment to remember the man whose brooding performances, combined with his tragic death at the age of 24, cemented his legacy as a legend gone too soon. Even decades later, his influence can be seen in actors who channel his raw intensity and effortless cool. Beyond the image of the troubled young man in a red jacket, James Dean was also deeply introspective, drawn to art, philosophy, and the idea of home. Born in Marion, Indiana in 1931, Dean's early years were marked by both love and loss. When he was just 9 years old, his mother Mildred passed away from cancer, leaving a void in his life. His father, unable to care for him alone, sent him to live with relatives on a farm in Fairmount, Indiana. It was here that Dean spent his formative years, developing a love for speed, acting, and the solitude that would later define his private life. This Midwestern home remained a significant part of his identity, even as he pursued a career in Hollywood. As he grew older, Dean moved to California to live with his father and stepmother while attending Santa Monica College, and later UCLA, where he pursued acting. His time in Los Angeles was pivotal as he immersed himself in theatre and quickly caught the attention of industry insiders. Between his time studying acting and working odd jobs, he lived in various apartments and homes throughout the city, some of which became the backdrop for his rise to fame. Despite the glitz of Hollywood, Dean never fully abandoned his Indiana roots, often retreating to Fairmount when he needed a break from the pressures of fame. Now, let's take a closer look at the homes James Dean lived in, from his humble beginnings in Indiana to his New York apartment to the places he called home in Los Angeles as he chased his Hollywood dreams. Let's begin our journey through the life and homes of James Dean. James Dean's birthplace was a modest apartment known as Seven Gables, a 2-story, 4-unit building located at the intersection of 4th and McClaw Streets. In 1938, following the death of his mother, Dean's father sent him back to Indiana to live with his aunt and uncle, Hortense and Marcus Winslow, on their farm near Fairmount. The Winslow farmhouse, constructed in 1904 and encompassing 300 acres, became the nurturing ground for Dean as a kid. Here, amidst the vast landscapes, Dean found a sense of belonging and stability. His cousin, Marcus Winslow Jr., who still resides on the property, recalls, "He had a lot of friends, he had a good life there." Life on the Winslow farm was filled with simple pleasures and hard work. Dean participated in typical farm activities, such as caring for animals and maintaining the property. A favourite pastime was ice skating on the pond behind the barn, where he and local children would gather on weekends. These experiences grounded Dean, providing him with a deep connection to the land and community that would influence his later life. The Fairmount community embraced Dean, offering him a supportive environment that fostered his burgeoning interest in art and drama. He attended Fairmount High School, where he excelled in theatre under the mentorship of teacher Adeline Knoll. Today, the Winslow farmhouse stands as a testament to Dean's early life, preserved by his family and visited by fans from around the world. The property remains a working farm, symbolizing the enduring legacy of James Dean's roots and the small-town values that influenced his meteoric rise to fame. Now, let's turn to his early years as a struggling actor, when James Dean made his way to New York City, a place that would become instrumental in shaping his career. It was here that he honed his craft, studying method acting at the prestigious Actors Studio under Lee Strasberg. While he was determined to make a name for himself, his living conditions were far from glamorous. Dean resided in a modest top-floor apartment in Manhattan, a tiny space that reflected both his bohemian lifestyle and his willingness to sacrifice comfort in pursuit of his dreams. The apartment itself lacked even the most basic amenities. It had no kitchen, and the bathroom was a shared space down the hall. But Dean, always one to find beauty in simplicity, seemed unfazed by its limitations. He once remarked, "If you press your head against the window at certain times and squint through one eye, you could see a grand view of Central Park." That imaginative perspective perfectly encapsulated who he was, a dreamer who could see the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. Despite the small space, the apartment became his retreat, a place where he could read, reflect, and escape from the chaos of city life. This period in New York was crucial for Dean, as it was here that he landed roles on Broadway, performances that ultimately caught the attention of Hollywood. Though his time in the city was brief, his apartment served as a launching pad for his meteoric rise. It was in these dimly lit, cramped quarters that James Dean truly became an artist, immersing himself in the discipline and intensity that would define his short but legendary career. Moving to the early 1950s, right before James Dean became a cinematic legend, he found himself in Los Angeles, navigating the challenging path of an aspiring actor. To support himself, Dean took on various odd jobs, one of which was as a handyman at a residence located on Sutton Street in Sherman Oaks. This home, now worth $4 million, was characterized by its traditional architecture and serene ambiance, became a pivotal backdrop in Dean's journey to stardom. The Sutton Street residence was owned by actress and producer Joan Davis, known for her work in radio and television. Dean's responsibilities included general maintenance and upkeep of the property, tasks that allowed him to remain close to the entertainment industry he so passionately wished to be part of. The home's layout featured spacious rooms with natural light, a cozy living area adorned with vintage furnishings, and a well-manicured garden that offered a tranquil retreat from the bustling city life. While working at the Davis residence, Dean was introduced to influential figures within the industry. These connections proved invaluable, providing him with opportunities to showcase his talent and dedication. The home's inviting atmosphere often served as a gathering place for actors, writers, and producers, fostering an environment where Dean could learn and grow. One of the most notable features of the Sutton Street home was its expansive backyard. Lined with mature trees and flowering plants, it provided a serene setting where Dean often retreated to practice his lines and reflect on his aspirations. This outdoor space, coupled with the home's warm interiors, offered a sense of stability during a time when Dean's career was anything but certain. The kitchen, though modest in size, was the heart of the home. It was here that Dean would often engage in conversations with Joan Davis and her guests, discussing the intricacies of acting and the challenges of the industry. These interactions not only enriched his understanding of the craft, but also solidified his determination to succeed. The living room, now filled with classic mid-century decor, at Dean's time featured a brick fireplace and large windows that bathed the space in sunlight. This room witnessed numerous informal gatherings, where Dean's charisma and passion for acting left a lasting impression on those he met. Bedrooms in the home were simple yet comfortable. The home's facade, characterized by its clean lines and traditional design, exuded a timeless charm. A quaint porch welcomed visitors, offering a glimpse into the warmth and hospitality that lay within. This exterior simplicity belied the profound impact the residence had on Dean's personal and professional development. Today, the Sutton Street residence stands as a testament to James Dean's early struggles and unwavering determination. While the home has witnessed changes over the decades, its legacy as the place where a young handyman was discovered and transformed into a Hollywood icon remains indelible. Visitors and fans alike are drawn to this historic site, eager to connect with the humble beginnings of a legend whose star continues to shine brightly in the annals of cinema history. James Dean's life was a whirlwind of ambition, talent, and a restless search for meaning. From his humble beginnings in Indiana to the bustling streets of New York and the sun-drenched hills of Los Angeles, each home he lived in tells a different chapter of his journey. Whether it was the quiet solitude of his childhood farm, the cramped New York apartment where he dreamed of stardom, or the Hollywood residences where he found his big break, these places shaped the man behind the legend. Though his time in each was brief, they remain deeply tied to his story, a story of a young man who captured the spirit of an entire generation. With only 3 major films, he redefined what it meant to be a leading man: raw, vulnerable, and intensely real. His performances in Rebel Without a Cause, East of Eden, and Giant continue to resonate with audiences today, proving that his appeal is timeless. But beyond the Hollywood image, Dean was an artist in every sense, deeply introspective, passionate about racing, and always in pursuit of something just out of reach. On September 30th, 1955, that pursuit was cut short when Dean's Porsche Spyder crashed on a California highway, ending his life at just 24 years old. The world lost one of its brightest young stars, but his legacy has never faded. Fans still visit his childhood home in Fairmount, the places he lived and worked, and even the site of his tragic accident. His homes stand as a quiet reminders of his journey, places where a young actor once dreamed, struggled, and ultimately became a legend. Now, if you enjoyed this tour through James Dean's life and homes, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth looks at the homes of Hollywood's greatest icons. Let us know in the comments which legendary star's home you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.